One of the things that stands out the most about Dogman is that it looks like it was drawn by a kid, even though that's not really true. Well, sort of. But did you know there are hidden details in the world of Dogman that even hardcore fans might have missed? A lot of people don't know this, but Dogman's story was originally completely different from what we know today. Fans of the comics know that author Dav Pilkey created the character when he was in second grade, around 8 years old. But if today you're seeing a half-man, half-dog police officer, you should know that wasn't the original plan at all.
Really?
Pilkey once said that Dogman was just going to be a regular dog
He wasn't actually a police officer. He was basically a dog.
who got struck by lightning and gained superpowers. Yeah, he'd still be called Dogman, but there wouldn't be anything man about him. And the joke was the powers wouldn't be permanent. Every time he needed them,
He was always getting struck by lightning at just the right moment. Whenever somebody needed a superhero, a cloud would come out of the sky and
boom, another lightning strike. That goofy version didn't last, and instead we got the half-dog, half-human cop we all know today. But don't worry, because here on Animated Mania, we're breaking down 11 Dogman facts no one's ever told you before. Grab some snacks, this is gonna be good. Have you ever noticed that all the Dogman art is super simple, but also really full of energy and color? There's a reason for that, and it's actually kinda genius. Yes, Dav Pilkey drew it himself. That part's obvious. But what most people don't realize is that he does it all by hand. Seriously, no iPad, no fancy drawing software. While most comics today are drawn digitally, Pilkey goes full old school. Pen, paper, scanner. That's it. Why? Because in-universe, the Dogman comics are written and drawn by George and Harold, the same kids from Captain Underpants. It wouldn't make sense if it looked too professional. Pilkey actually copied the style he had when he was a kid, so the whole thing feels like something two middle schoolers made in their notebooks, which is exactly the point. And guess what? It worked. Last year alone, the Dogman comics reached over 3.8 million readers worldwide. We already told you that Dogman was created when Pilkey was just 8. But have you ever seen the very first Dogman? Well, we did. And let's just say, he was very different. No police uniform, just a regular little dog who probably would have been named Greg, like the one in the final version. He walked on all fours and had a collar, meaning he had an owner. If anything, he looked more like a superhero pup who wore a cape than a cop. And that matches what Pilkey said in an interview. When he was younger, he loved drawing dogs in capes, flying around like Batman. So the original Dogman? Not really a man at all. We don't even know if George and Harold would have created him in that version. But considering Captain Underpants was invented around the same time, it's totally possible. In one TV interview, Dav Pilkey talked to 2 little girls and shared something personal. When he was their age, he had a super smart dog who was always getting into trouble, but in a fun way. That dog ended up becoming a major inspiration for Dogman. Could that dog's name have been Greg too? Maybe. We'll never know, but it's pretty cool to think that the original Dogman might have been based on a real dog from Pilkey's childhood. Got a super smart dog at home? Drop a comment with the hashtag dog so we can meet them. Now here's a fun fact that might shock you. Dogman wasn't made for everyone. Depending on your age, it might even be considered not allowed. That's because both the comics and the movie are recommended for kids 8 years and older. Technically, if you're under that age, you're supposed to have a parent around. Why? Because even though it's super funny, Dogman covers some heavy stuff, like Petey's past, Crud's evil schemes, and even Big Jim's family tragedy. So yeah, those age ratings, they exist for a reason. Stay safe, follow the rules, and don't make us call Officer Knight. Here's something else almost no one talks about. George and Harold didn't just create Dogman, they also created a second comic. Ever heard of The Adventures of Ook and Glook? It's from the same universe. The story is wild. 2 cavemen live in the Stone Age until a villain from the future shows up to steal their natural resources and enslave people. So what do? Time travel to the future, learn Kung Fu at a martial arts academy for 7 years, and return to defeat him, with help from girlfriends and dinosaurs. Yup, dinosaurs. Unfortunately, the comic is no longer available. Pilkey pulled it after fans from the Asian community raised concerns about cultural representation. Some fans think Dogman could have crossed over with that story someday. But now, probably not. Still, it shows how much the Dogman universe has grown and evolved. Speaking of the Dogman universe, let's talk about Big Jim. New comics about him are coming out, focusing on his childhood, his parents, and even some alien prophecy. But you want to know the coolest part? In an interview, Pilkey said he started writing more Big Jim stories because of a YouTuber named Dorian's World.
Bigger story to tell.
Well, you should say who inspired me, and the answer is you. It's true.
He said he watches the videos and kept wondering, why does this guy like Big Jim so much?
I wonder what it is about Big Jim that Dorian finds so compelling.
That curiosity helps spark a whole new direction in the story. It just goes to show, fans really can influence what happens. Hey Pilkey, if you're watching Animated Mania, how about a Sarah Hadoff origin story next? Now here's a blink and you'll miss it detail from the movie. Dogman only exists because of an explosion set off by Petey. But guess what? The building he blew up was already empty. There was a giant sign in the background saying it was abandoned. So if Officer Knight had just paid attention, he would have known nobody was in danger. And if there's no danger, then there's no reason to risk anything. Meaning the surgery that created Dogman would have never happened. The hero exists only because someone didn't read a sign. We all know Dogman comics are changing focus lately. But did you know they were inspired by fan channels like this one? And here's another thing that's often misunderstood. Dogman isn't technically a book. It's a graphic novel, a full-length comic with a complete story, not just a single issue like regular comics. And beyond the page, Dogman is everywhere now. There's a video game, a stage musical, and of course, the movie. The musical's only in the US right now, but it's full of music, dancing, and even Lil Petey. So whether you're a new fan or a Dogman superfan, there's always more to discover. And here at Animated Mania, we've got tons more for you. Check out these two awesome videos and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, have a great time.